Welcome to Ridgecrest Talk. I'm your host, Tonia Pyle, and I've invited Aurora Rush from the Kern County Disposal Management Company. Now, actually, you told me this is Public Works.
It's the Kern County Public Works
Kern
Department.
County Public Works Department, and you're a part of waste.
That's correct. We have the waste disposal sites and the recycling programs that we operate.
Okay. All right. And it's quite an involved thing. I've been on your website.
Yes.
But the reason I wanted to have you here, and I'm so glad you could join us, Aurora.
It's our pleasure.
Is because I understood from having law enforcement from the Bureau of Land Management that they actually have quite an issue with people disposing of waste on our public lands. So I was hoping that maybe by bringing awareness to this issue, that maybe you could help us get on the right track and preclude some of this that is actually catches up with people sooner or later, I think, when this happens. So let's talk about how frequently does this happen? I mean,
illegal dumping is known nationwide as one of those scars on our lands. Unfortunately, it is a behavior, a social behavior, that is really difficult to curb and to correct. What we've discovered at a national level is that there are that minority of individuals that it's just the easiest thing to do, just to unload in some sort of a vacant lot, in an alleyway, in Ridgecrest, lots of open spaces.
Yes.
And our desert, our beautiful desert. In some of the other San Joaquin areas, you see illegal dumping occurring on farms and ranches, again, kind of those areas. And we see it just prevalently around the coast. You see it on the beach sites. And so it is a problem that happens, unfortunately. And we do have some programs as to the why. It is that question that we can't really have. We don't have an answer. There are those that choose to do the wrong thing. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Okay.
And so what can we do to correct that is to hopefully tackle it. And we have a method that we call our three-prong approach. Through prevention and education, we can tackle it as well as with cleanups, actually just get rid of it. And then there's the enforcement component as well. And so hopefully with those three, we can curb it and maybe at one time and at one point completely mitigate it.
Well, that's our goal. And so where are the sites in our Ridgecrest, Inyo Kern, China Lake, Indian Wells Valley area to dump? Is there more than one? Or?
Well, in this portion of Kern County, we have, to service the Ridgecrest community, we have a landfill. The Ridgecrest landfill, sanitary landfill, of which we operate, the county operates, and you and I all contribute to the operations of that facility through our land use fees. And we'll talk about fees a little later. But we do have the ability to bring in all of the residential waste and all of the business waste that's generated in this community to that facility. And we have sufficient capacity to take us and be able to provide that service for many years to come in Kern County.
So it's a landfill.
It is a landfill. It is a sanitary landfill. It's an engineered site at which we have our garbage companies that collect at the curb. That's the garbage collection. So all of the municipal waste collected, either from businesses or from residents, is brought into the Ridgecrest landfill, as well as you and I can self-haul our own waste and bring it to the landfill. So go ahead.
And there's, okay, so then, so we have pickup of trash and then pickup of recycling.
There
are two different things.
There are two different things. I believe in this community you have voluntary recycling. So for those individuals that choose to subscribe for recycling programs, and the garbage companies out here would collect that as part of the services they provide. We do have recycling programs also at the landfill. Some of the recycling programs that we have at the landfill is to be able to divert those things that cannot be disposed of. So for example, we do not dispose of appliances. We recycle those. Any sort of, we call them white goods. So your refrigerators, your washers, your dryers, those kinds of things are diverted and they go into our recycling section. We also divert tires. So tires don't go in a landfill. We set them aside and we send them off for recycling as well. And there are other things that we want to recycle. Could be landfill, but it's best to recycle, so we want to do the right thing. So things like wood waste and things like green waste, we set those materials aside and then we have recycling programs for them. Also, one of the things we cannot dispose of is electronic waste. So we have programs at the landfill where you can bring your televisions, your computers, anything that we call it, anything with a plug, and we will set that aside and we will recycle that. So those are the kinds of recycling programs that we have at the landfill. More recently, we've added...
But they're not going into the landfill.
And they are not being disposed of. So the kinds of things you see going in the landfill are the things that you're throwing in your trash can. Those are the kinds of things. There are some bulky waste items that we handle. We handle mattresses and couches and larger furniture pieces that can't be recycled. We can dispose of those at the landfill as well.
Okay. So, well, when I was on your website, which gets actually very involved, there's a lot to this management.
There is.
But as far as like broken glass and things like this, I was reading some places can't deposit broken glass. This is very curious to me.
At the landfill, and maybe it's just part of the garbage collection rules. Sometimes there's a little confusion with the garbage collection. Companies might have their own rules, but at the landfill we accept just about anything like that. Yes. The things that you cannot take is hazardous waste. You cannot put hazardous waste in your garbage can, and then we don't.
What about batteries? Okay, we're going to take a little break here in a little bit. We'll come back, and I want to get a little more into the things we can and cannot do because
that's a good topic.
I think it started to sort of make me hurt a little bit in terms of sorting it all out.
Yes.
So we'll come back and we'll talk about fees and costs and what lead people maybe to taking what they think is the easy way to just drop it in the public land, but really that's not the easy way, as we learned from our law enforcement, Mr. Chaidez.
Yes.
So, okay, well, we'll be right back after this quick break, Aurora.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome back to Ridgecrest Talk with our guest Aurora Rush with Ridgecrest Public Works.
Correct.
And thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
At this time, you've brought some materials which are so helpful for someone like me that it starts to hurt when I think about, okay, what can I dispose of, what can I not dispose of, and then the fees that are a big issue.
And you know, it's interesting. People don't think that trash could be that complicated. The average person thinks, well, it's just trash.
Right.
But trash is not just trash. In my world, unfortunately, it's a heavily regulated industry.
Yes.
There are things that we can consider just trash and throw them in our trash can, and there are things that we can't. And also, and it's not a free process. There is a cost to being able to manage all of the trash.
Right.
When you think of the number of individuals that live in Kern County, how do we handle everybody's trash? It's kind of like, you know, the water goes down the drain, the trash just the garbage man takes it away. We don't think about it.
We don't think about it.
Right,
exactly.
and that's really what we want. We want to make it as
seamless,
easy and seamless as possible. But there is education that we have to provide, and as you mentioned, the things that we cannot dispose of. First and foremost, we have heavily educate the public on not disposing hazardous waste.
And so I need to know, what is hazardous waste? Immediately I think paint, batteries, help me.
And the list can go on and on.
Yeah.
Sharps, needles, medications,
medications,
automotive
yes.
products,
Tires,
pesticides.
you said
We had
tires?
mentioned tires, light bulbs, the fluorescent tubes. Some of the more common things you mentioned already is paint and paint products.
Yeah, what do people do with this?
We have a wonderful facility at your Ridgecrest landfill called the Kern County Special Waste Facility. And this facility accepts all of these materials, and we handle them, and to the extent possible, we are able to recycle most of the paint that we get and give it back to the community. So we are able, you can come to the facility and pick up some of the paint. We bulk it into
I should have
certain
gone to the
colors.
facility
It
before I had you here, Aurora.
It's incredible.
Because
it's a great process that we do.
Yes.
If there are products that are still good and the container has its proper labeling, let's say you have some sort of a pesticide that you were putting on your garden, but you're done with it, and so you can bring it to us, and someone else, we call it our stop and shop. Someone else can come and pick it up. All we ask is just bring it back if you're not going to use any more of it. And we will continue to reuse in that sense. So we have recycling programs. We have some things that we cannot do anything with. You mentioned batteries. And so we have a method that we contract out with a hazardous waste hauler, and they take some of these materials for disposal. So what we ask the community is to not put these materials in. We have information on our website, and then we have the hours of operation at the facility. We'll talk more about that, I think, but you have this great facility here in town where you can bring all of these materials to.
Now, why was I thinking that, because I do keep my batteries separate in an old coffee can, and I was thinking that they did pick that up. Now you're saying now maybe our contracted
maybe
waste
your garbage collection company in Ridgecrest might be offering you a program to collect some of these things. Since we work at a county scale, everybody the collection systems and programs might be a little different from one area to the other. So it's possible that Waste Management here that collects trash in Ridgecrest might be offering you some of these programs. However, the community is both county and city, right?
Yes.
So we need to be able to offer these programs to anyone, whether it's city or county, and you have the ability to bring it to the special waste facility.
Now, is it going to cost me something, though, if I go with my coffee can of batteries?
There is no cost. This is all covered by the land use fee that is paid for by residential parcels that go on the tax roll. So this is part of what you and I pay on our property taxes. The service is for what we call household hazardous waste. So it's a residential program. So you and I that are residents can bring materials at no additional cost. If you're a business, there is a cost. And we simply charge the cost that it costs the county to get rid of it, to dispose of it properly.
Any business or business that's in like contracting?
It's what we call a small quantity generator. So there are businesses, if they don't generate more than, I believe it's 220 pounds per month of hazardous waste, then they can bring us materials. And we do this by an appointment basis. We sign them up, and then they can bring us the material, and that is pay as you go. So you pay for what you bring only.
So if you're an independent contractor or maybe even a handyman or somebody like this, do they need to expect to pay a commercial fee?
Yes. If you are a business, the only ones that do not is you and me with the things that you and I generate at home. The paint that we use in our house, the batteries that we use, the light bulbs, the chemicals that we have from home, all the cleaners and those kinds of things, the fluid from my car. Those things that we generate in the home can be brought in at no additional charge.
So at what point would you, I don't want to imply that someone would, try to, but at what point would it look like I was really in business?
It is obvious. We have had unfortunately, people try to curb the rules, and our staff is so well skilled at identifying the mix of materials that come from a typical home compared to the volumes, particularly, that would come from a business. And our staff will ask the questions, where is this generated? We have to document because it is hazardous waste after all,
Right.
where it comes from. And so a lot of times at that point, once you're being asked, those that are honest will tell us the truth. Well, it did come from, I'm a small contractor and I did this job. And then we can work with them at that point to be able to get them down the right path.
So what kind of a fee, at what volume? Does it start to get pricey that I might want to?
You know what? I don't have the fees with me.
Okay,
It depends
okay.
on the kinds of materials.
It's on the website?
Well, for the hazardous waste, what we ask is that businesses call us, set up an appointment, then we
okay.
walk them through the process. Only
see.
because every business is a little different, and we do have a list of fees. I believe we do have it on the website, but they are by material type. So it just depends, and it's a per pound for that material.
Okay. Well, I think we're getting ready to take a quick break here. We'll be back in just a moment to hear more about the Public Works disposal for Kern County. Thank you. Welcome back to Ridgecrest Talk with our guest today, Aurora Rush from the Kern County Public Works, and she tells me she gets paid to talk trash here, so I've been enjoying talking trash with you here today, Aurora.
Great. It's my topic.
But we were talking about fees and different costs, and you said that part of the good news people don't know is that a lot of things there is no fee to take it to the disposal.
That's correct. One of the, I think when people get just misconceptions is that all trash is chargeable. And we have had billboard campaigns where you say, bring your trash. It's free at the landfill. And it truly is in the sense that you don't have to pay at the gate. For, again, those things that you and I generate at home, we call residential waste. So anything you would throw in your trash can, any sort of a furniture or an appliance, there is no charge at the gate to bring it to the landfill.
That's great.
So as long as it's generated in the home, there is no charge. There are, however, some things that are chargeable. And I think those are the things that a lot of times we see in greater volumes being illegally dumped. So for example, construction waste and demolition waste, those are the things that you would see like roofing shingles, or you would see fencing materials, possibly pieces of lumber that you see from a construction project.
Now, I'm wondering why there would be a charge for lumber, because you think that would be kind of a natural, biodegradable...
Sure. There's a cost to recycling these programs.
Yeah.
And so all we are trying to do is being able to manage the recycling of these programs. The state of California has a mandate, and the mandate has required us that as residents, as a jurisdiction, we have to reduce the waste we generate by 50% by the year 2000. We've achieved that. We are now headed to 75%, possibly by the year 2020. To do that, we've had to identify those materials with the heaviest weight. Construction waste is one of those waste streams that we've identified, and the state has said we need to do something about diverting it out of landfills, especially if we can recycle it. In order to handle the material and being able to recycle it properly, there's a cost. And so we simply attribute the cost. If we can recycle it, you only pay half of the gate fee. So if you were to bring us a load of wood, for example, from a construction site, you would only pay half of the gate fee, versus if it's mixed in with paper and concrete and things that we can't separate and we have to dispose and bury, then that is the full gate fee. So those things.
Well, what kind of a fee are we talking about?
Well, currently, and fees, have gone up over the years, but currently I can tell you in this community, if you have construction and demolition waste, it is $45 a ton. We're talking 2,000 pounds of it. So if you were to bring it in what we call a standard vehicle, just a regular vehicle or pickup truck, it could be as little as $22 for that pickup truck load. And if you were to separate it, you would only be paying half of that.
I used to sell pianos. Those are big, weighty
Sure.
items. So when you start talking about 2,000 pounds, I start thinking, now how much does
much
a
could that
piano
piano
weigh?
weigh?
It's pretty weighty.
Yes,
it's got a heavy
sure. It could
iron.
be. We're talking a lot. I mean,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
1,000 pounds.
Yeah, and
It's
so
1,000
we're
pounds.
talking 2,000 pounds of waste material would cost $45 if it was construction waste. So it's not that much.
I'm
When you think
surprised,
about it,
right.
a lot of people think it's going to be a huge cost.
I did think it would be a
And
huge
remember, regular household waste, there is no charge for that.
Now, if I'm
So-
remodeling my home, is that my personal
If you
home?
bring as construction or the remodel materials, that is still fall under the construction and demolition.
Okay.
And so it's everything, the other
Okay.
materials, the stuff that
That's
goes in
fair.
your garbage can.
Yeah, okay, right.
The old patio
Yeah,
furniture, the
inside your
kids' toys,
home.
the mattress, the
Okay.
couch. There is no charge for that
Okay.
at the gate.
Okay, that makes sense.
And unfortunately, we still see a lot of that out in our beautiful desert. Yeah. And
Okay.
so maybe we obviously need to continue to do more and more education. So a program like this is where I want to tell the public, bring your residential
Yes,
waste. There is
yes,
no
no
charge to the
charge.
landfill. Possibly when, we talked about causes. Why
Yes.
do people? Convenience is a huge motivator. I need to get rid of it now.
Well,
So-
where is the disposal site?
and in Ridgecrest, I can give you, we have 16 facilities, so I don't have them by
Oh.
memory. But in
Oh,
Ridgecrest,
okay.
I can tell you the facility is at 3301 West Bowman Road.
Okay.
And the hours of operation, they are open 7 days a week. 7 days a week.
Wow.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday.
Pretty hard to miss.
You can't-
Pretty hard to miss that.
From 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay.
So I think what happens is maybe a lot of projects end after 4. And again, convenience. They need to unload. And what's motivating them is they got to go to work again tomorrow, and they unload. Either that or they don't want to pay the gate fee.
Interesting.
So-
Tell us about some of your special projects that you do.
Well, some of the solutions for illegal dumping.
Yes.
We do organize community events and cleanups. I've worked with a number of community members in Ridgecrest where we will help organize. And we will, if it's illegally dumped, our ordinance gives us the authority. If it's illegal dumping and it is coordinated through the county, then we can defer the cost of the gate fee. We will waive the gate fee. So we have the ability to do that. So I welcome anybody that wants to do some organized cleanups,
Oh,
and we
okay.
will help you with gloves and bags and help you with a safety orientation because we don't want anyone to get hurt while they're
Right.
helping us clean up, and we will waive the gate fee. So that is a huge motivator to get community members, a company or anyone that wants to, church that wants to do it, Boy Scouts that want to do it. We will help them organize cleanups.
Oh, it's a good. I'm glad you brought that
Yes.
up because I know a lot of when we're just getting ready to wrap this up, but it's worth saying that a lot of students earn scholarships if they've demonstrated community service.
We love high school students. The other way that we can help is adopt a road. We have our Keep Kern Roads Clean program, and it's part of our campaign Keep Kern Clean, and we want people to know that they can adopt roads. We will give them bags, gloves, and the roads department will collect the bags after their cleanup. They just have to commit for 2 miles and clean it up 4 times a year for 2 years.
And they just
And
call
they get
you?
a great, yes, they can call us.
What number do they call?
They
for?
can call 661-862-8900. They can go to our website. That's the best way.
That's the best way.
KernCountyWaste.com. All this information and more, KernCountyWaste.com. And they can call us or see us on the web. We want everybody to be a part of this.
Thank you so much for
Thank you
joining
for having
us
me.
today, Aurora.
I appreciate it.
It's been great.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.